Here is probably the most perfect gemstone and the most famous gemstone in the world. It's a perfect replica of the great Kohinoor Diamond, and in this contemporary cut it resides in the crown of Queen Elizabeth and is available for public viewing in the towers in London. It's a beautiful gem cut in an oval according to fourfold symmetry and was done in Amsterdam in the 1800s. This is an exact replica of what's called the new cut. The old cut was a much larger stone. Here is a replica cut of the original Kohinoor called the Mountain of Light, which was named by Nadir Shah in 1739 when he stole it from the Maharaja of India after the Persians overtook the Hindus. This is the new Kohinoor, which is 109 carats, and it was cut for Queen Victoria for her celebration in the 1800s. It took 38 days, regarded as a speed record in those days, for a certain Mr. Voorsanger of the Netherlands for cutting the famous Kohinoor, which lies right now in the crown jewels in the Great Tower in London for the British royalty. Rather than use yag, I selected to use this large crystal of topaz. You should understand, when cutting real stones, that the art of faceting lies with identifying the type of system of the crystal and the direction of the crystallographic axis, so that the faceting of the angles and the placement of the facets can enhance, beautify, and take advantage of the optical benefits that the stone derives. To begin cutting with a stone like an orthorhombic topaz merely means that you're beginning to drive a car without any reference to the gear shift or the steering wheel. You don't know where you're going. So the idea here is to identify this stone's crystallographic axis so that we can orient it and put it on the dopstick properly and cut it to its best advantage. What you see here is a homemade polarizer. Using this and moving this under light means that I can identify and keep moving and transferring the stone until I find the crystallographic axis so that I can dop it up on a stick and begin cutting. On the bottom is a piece of Polaroid, and there's a piece of Polaroid called the analyzer on top. And the way this function is performed is to take a flashlight and turn the light under, so you throw a light up under the stone and then turn through completely 360-day blinking. If the stone blinks dark and light 4 times, that's what's called a double refractive stone. That means the various axes in the system are of different length. If it was a singly refractive stone, you could orient it in any direction and still get all of the optics. Diamonds, garnets, glass are good examples of isometric or singly refractive stones. Most colored gems, including the topaz, are doubly refractive. That means that the direction of best optical performance and single refractive direction in a double refractive stone is the longest axis and is known as the crystallographic or the optic axis. That's what we're on. And the polarizer will identify the direction. In this case, I've slabbed it, and this stone, the crystallographic axis runs from this flat top down to the flat bottom. It was already predetermined. So what I'll do now is simply take a dopstick like this, glue the stone on it, form it up into a rough shape, and then commence faceting the Kohinoor. What you see here are the last steps and the polishing of the final girdle facets for the famous Kohinoor replica, Victoria. This is the gem that now rests in the crown of the British monarch. It took me 4.5 hours with a jam peg to cut this stone. When the British overtook India, they brought this back with them, and it's now among the crown jewels. As you can see, the replica come out nice. It's just a matter of working the plan and checking to make sure that each one of the facets lies in place and along the crystallographic axis. Certainly this won't perform like the original Kohinoor, but it certainly is a majestic and beautiful replica of one of the world's finest diamonds. So you don't have to go to the Great Tower in London to see it. Here it is, 108.83 carats. It's called 109, but that's the exact size of it. The jam peg is a perfect instrument for cutting this because you can follow in and you can dress up each facet as you need. The Kohinoor.